Yeah, especially the mid control that you get, right? The wave clear on that Lilia, amazing. You can actually go for the full control if you give homeboys over that Lilia. They already have a Terizla, a Bruno, so many winning matchups. If you give them a Lilia, that'll be another way for them to control, especially the neutral objective side of the map.
Perfect now for homeboys though, they require some crowd control or they require some kind of kiting tool, because otherwise they're gonna be forced to stick in the Netherrealm and duke it out. No Valentina available. If they want to escape, they need assistance to do that.
Whoa.
If they want to stay in the fight, they need some AoE crowd control, but that's where Echo denies it. They go for the Minotaur. What does homeboys have? I think the Atlas comes to mind, but we haven't seen it in too long. It might be a bit too risky to use it here.
Very hard to catch Benedetta on the Atlas. Pheromones can rock the Purify as well. So my guess is homeboys will just have a solid choice. If they really want to go crazy, they can pick up a healer here. A good hero is Florian potentially, but let's see. Echo, good disengage tool that they add in their composition, right? With the Minotaur, it adds more room. With the short range composition that they have, perhaps with the Minotaur, they can disengage. But homeboys adding more depth. It's a debut pick in MPLI 2023. That's the Gourd. Adds more range, adds more depth.
That's a very risky pick, though. You're up against so much dive for the side of Echo. They have that Benedetta, Sanford on the Benedetta, a man known to just make a big mess in the back line with any hero he gets, especially a Benedetta. But for Benny Cutie in the gold lane, they'll stick to a signature pick, a carry against a Bruno. Not really the most ideal of matchups for Echo, but that's how they like to play it. They think more about the team synergy over the hero counters, playing for that one moment. Benny's going to be the weak side of the map in this game. Should be.
Most definitely. In such a difficult matchup, he will only find value later on in those big team
Look at
fights.
this.
But even then, he is susceptible to just getting absolutely bursted down here. So, I feel like homeboys has more ways to dictate when the fight happens, technically. For Echo, it's very reactive, and I think it all revolves around Benny. He can find success, the team can.
Yeah, the prediction was a stomp, Miracle, right? Almost all to the side of Echo. Will homeboys give an upset in this first game? Composition-wise, they definitely can, right? Sure, and that Gourd is such a risky pick, but the range, they can definitely can play the range around with.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to enter the land of Dawn for match number 2. Echo takes on Homeboy. Zorn already early on this Edith, going at it with JP, but is forced to use the onward defensively. And you know how Echo's name is the House of Highlights? I think for some reason, I have a feeling that we're going to see a lot of highlights here from both these teams in this matchup.
I think highlights are definitely going to be present, but I think the golden matchup is where it's at, especially for the late game. In the early game, though, that is a lot of damage.
But onward, a Mystic Projectile as well, both connecting in Chibi. You can definitely see that base damage come forth in the first minute of the game. Super fast clear. He's already gone through both his buffs.
That was a fast rotation, and seeing the composition, it does make sense, right? They can play this also. This mobility composition that they have perhaps in this early game especially. So with JP not having a flicker for the Searle, that's already a huge advantage on the neutral objective take for the side of homeboys.
Right, in the first fight though, the Cult Altar, or the Netherrealm, my mistake, against possibly good combo with a penalty zone. We'll have to see, because Echo, they're putting a lot of emphasis on the top side, but the backup is coming.
Maltese has to walk away from this, and that's actually going to be a good steal away. Warlord gets it. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, as expected, this lane for Ryzel should be in his hands. A bit of an advantage. Meanwhile, first turtle going to spawn. Not yet slain, ladies and gentlemen.
And you can see here already Fredrin is poking the turtle now. Setup-wise, Echo is also, they want to contest.
Let's see if they can. Echo still has a bit more of an advantage when it comes to CC, and there it is. Sanford with a Petrify, even diving to the back. Warlord should be in a lot of trouble, but is able to flicker out. Meanwhile, there's another fight going in here. Sanji saves the day for a bit with another round, but Carl Teasy here gets out for a wild subpot. Flickers forward, but gets knocked up instead. Now it's Chibi versus the world. It's still an outplay from Sanji. And Echo takes the dub early on in the first turtle fight.
Sanford saving the day, and even now, Sanford finds a solo, technically. Wow, Sanford, earlier on, he distracts Gord, looking for the kill. Doesn't really get it, but it made Gord or Warlord recall. And without the Gord, Sanford can regroup with his team, provide the cover, and there you go. Echo grabbing 3 kills in an instant.
The early game damage definitely comes from the mid lane, especially when you do have the Gord. Unfortunately, got caught in a weird 1v1 there. It is not ideal. Shows again that Homeboys, they have all the tools right here, but the setup matters more than ever as Soren finds a play.
It's on to Carl Teasy. It's a good primal ramp that gets him low, but now he is caught in the enemy jungle. Behind enemy lines. Zorn with an Earth Shatter, Sanford with Eye for an Eye. Zorn should be dead with a Phantom Slash there, and yes, he does fall in the back. It does give Chibi, however, a big opportunity to secure a neutral objective.
The first turtle is now up, is now taken out. So let's see here. Echo, will they be able to somehow equalize, right? That's the question here. Echo, though, economy, they are slightly ahead.
I feel like they're still pretty okay bringing this into the mid game there, especially if Chibi doesn't really get to snowball hard. Sanji quietly has already amassed 3 kills, already with the Enchanted Talisman. That's a lot of damage, burst-wise, but also a lot of damage. He can spam it a lot more.
There's the gush. Oh, JP gets out, just barely into the nether realm. Pops in the mini when Fury as well to knock Zorn up. That's a double knock up and some follow-up damage from Sanji and Benny, turning another fight around for Echo.
The reinforcements from Echo, man, they are a pod indeed. And again, JP, sure, he burned the flicker, but the minion break comes in clutch. Bought enough time for the other members to regroup and capitalize. Homeboys now, again, they're slightly behind, but it seems like they're looking for more proactive plays. Is that the right move?
I feel like proactiveness is on the hands of Echo. They kind of actually have a better burst-heavy composition, so unless it's a full-on 5v5, I don't really think Homeboys' composition really lends itself to these skirmishes in the early game. I think later on, when they want to get a big combo, that's where Ryzel can just hold his ground and aim to just out-damage, output Benny Cutie. But that has to be backed up by a strong early game laning phase. So far, Homeboys has not been able to get one.
Okay. Both EXP laners here cutting the waves. They want to join the fight for that turtle, but a fight almost occurred in the mid.
Good stampede from Sanji, and Zorn just gets absolutely disintegrated. Even in the back, Sanford in the 1v1. Chibi, gets a solo kill there. But that was Sanji. Netherrealm a bit too late, and now the Mythic Gush connects onto Sanji, shutting him down. Warlord picks up the kill. Another kill on the board for Homeboys, but it's always traded in. It's never a one-sided trade, this game.
Echo, very good. If you want to call it a distraction, yes. But again, Sanford taking out a very good cover overall by Homeboys. Now, let's see the items here. Bruno, of course, will go for the Has Claws, but take a look at Charizla. Fury Hammer, and then going for the Dominance Ice early.
So reduce the shielding and healing for sure. Paramis, Fredrin, Minotaur even. There's a lot of sustain built into the composition. And on the other side, Sanford going for the Hunter Strike, but going straight for some tankiness right here. I think he's attempting to do multiple roles. He might flank in the background, but he can actually have a huge presence in the mid-game teamfights using that Petrify if it's up. What's interesting is that the Gord went for the Ice Queens once first. It gives some kind of sustain and a lot of utility, but of course, it only depends if Warlord doesn't really get found, if he doesn't really get zoned away in the middle of a big fight.
And onward, connecting onto Carl Teasy with a follow-up, an instant penalty zone, but now the re-engage happens. Echo get a massive minute fury. Now they all fall in the Mystic Gush. The laser's big. TB has to back away. Echo going very, very low. Meanwhile, Sanford in the back, joining in with a flank as well. Ryzel looking for a big play. Picks up one, now dashing forward as well. Betty Cutie gets an outplay. Ryzel doesn't. and it's all Echo with a victory. Only Sanji falling. It's a 4-for-1, a disaster for the Homeboys.
A lot of bodies already from the side of Homeboys, and Echo, they will establish a healthier lead now. Take a look at Carl TZ. Going for the purple buff as well, stealing that one. And man, Homeboys, they were fine 2 minutes ago. Now they need to slow down their horse.
Maybe. This is a problem when you meet your match, kind of, right? You're both, making crazy plays. Chibi right there had barely any HP, and he hid in the bushes trying to get Benny Cutie. But Benny was ready for it. He would do that as well, but no, look, Rizal!
Deleted off the map instantly. Echo, they see someone step out just a bit and they go in hard. It's the House of Highlights that we all expected today. Only 2 turtles this game. They'll ignore the third one and they'll go straight for the Lord that spawn in with no Rizal. I don't think Homeboys can really look for a contest.
See, Echo, yeah, they will blitz it. Well, not blitz it, but they will take this Lord comfortably. Meanwhile, Homeboy is struggling to find any cross-map plays. And it's all because Echo, they do not forget to clear. They always manipulate their ways, managing it very, very well. And Homeboys, up to this point, have no effective play in their hand.
And the recall's coming in as well. I think Homeboys have to try and respect the potential, but wow, 1v1!
Solo kill down below by Sanford on the Benedetta against the Nolan. That's why they didn't ban it. They didn't need to. Sanji walks up to zone Rizal and Sapat. Does it successfully, as that's going to be a free tier 1 in the mid lane falling. Zor now caught in a tough spot. Carl TZ wants to go all in. Trying to look for a taunt there, but gets poked down instead. Rizal down to half of his HP, forced back all the way to his base.
And the issue right here, especially in these big fights, is that Benny Cutie is relatively untouched. He usually gets, some damage spills over onto him from some AoE damage, but for the most part, he's been very, very safe. Having a Purify and standing next to a Paramis and a Minotaur, he can go as aggressive as he wants, and if you go on him, it's not necessarily the right move for Homeboys. It's a difficult situation to be in, and now Echo is taking full control. The snowball has begun.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the first Lord. Echo will not be able to push until the base turret here. The passive still stands for Homeboys. And, well, meanwhile, the jungle, though, will not be safe for the side of Homeboys there. Oh, jungle invaded.
Sanford against the world right now is able to evade. Sanji comes in clutch with another realm, and he gets out. Now it's a re-engaged Chibi falling to the Appraiser's wrath. What a now play by Echo as Benny Cutie now follows up to the team Sapat with no flicker, cannot get away, he gets knocked up and taken down by Carl TZ, who picks up a double.
The coordination, the trust, and Echo, they move more.
Into the base, inside of it, they don't care. Warlord gets bursted down by one Sand. That's the second half of the Sand duo going in to pick up a killing spree. Dorn running away with a conceal, but the Sand duo is inevitable.
Echo, they can't end right here, right now. Chibi and Sapat, can they defend this one?
It's just Chibi right now, and he got deleted from the map, and now it's Sapat. He'll follow very, very soon with a base taken down. My goodness. The Echo Express are back.